Have you ever complained about a problem for years, only to realize you could have started fixing it yourself? Why do we often prefer protest speeches and criticism over picking up the first piece of trash in front of us? What happens to a church, a family, or a community when everyone assumes somebody else will take responsibility?
Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
I've enjoyed running at Triple Creek Park in Gallatin since I started working with the Hartsville Pike Church of Christ in June of last year. It has 185 acres, football, softball, baseball, and soccer fields, a playground, a frisbee disc golf course, and several miles of walking trails. The park's well maintained. The people who work there are friendly. It's a short distance from our apartment. It is convenient and enjoyable. About a month ago, I started noticing the trash: snack wrappers, Kentucky Fried Chicken boxes, water bottles, soft drink cans, gloves, napkins, diapers, dog droppings, and plastic bags dropped at random places, a T-shirt and washcloths. The city provides trash cans well spaced around the park. There are several designated places with plastic bags and disposals for people with dogs who'd like to keep the park clean. I observed how unfortunate it is that people are so irresponsible. They drop their trash anywhere they want to. I've noticed that once trash begins to accumulate, it becomes a magnet for other trash. Before long, it becomes a city dump. People know to bring their trash to that area because everybody does it. I wondered, why doesn't somebody do something about this? Then I remembered I was somebody. I thought of things I might do to eliminate this problem. As I was brainstorming during my run, I thought of what people do to address problems in our society. I could organize a protest. I could advertise in the paper. We could set a time and date to march through downtown Gallatin. We could print attractive signs to let people know that garbage needs to be eliminated in our city park. However, that'd take a lot of time and money, and I don't want to do that. My next thought was to go to a city council meeting and tell them how unfortunate it is that the beautiful park is being trashed by people who visit there. The council permits citizens 3 minutes to address any issue in the city. As I started planning this possibility, I thought it might take a minute and a half to suggest that the city hire personnel to keep the park clean. They spent $2 million in 2022 to build this beautiful park. A proposed expansion of Triple Creek Park, announced in March of 2026, is a $7.2 million project, slated to add 5 more soccer and ball fields. It shouldn't be disfigured the way it is. They could spend a small amount of money by hiring 1 or 2 more employees to keep it looking beautiful. I thought then, as long as I was there, I could complain about high taxes and wonder why they had so many employees on the payroll. And then I realized that would be inconsistent. I considered writing a letter to the editor of the local newspaper. I'd tell them how much I'm enjoying the park and suggest that everyone do their part to keep it clean. The people who drop trash all over the park ought to be ashamed of themselves. I get the local newspaper, and I read all the letters to the editor. Then I ask myself, in my decades of reading newspapers and the letters to the editor, what have I ever done as a result of reading one of those? Came up with a 0. I could post on Facebook and tell people how awful it is that people would trash a good park, Hope they'd read my post, realize the error of their ways, put their disposables in proper containers, and send me a thank you post about how helpful I'd been. But I notice that many do that with political trash, and it hasn't worked well. Up to this point, I didn't like any of the ideas that came to mind. Then I wondered what would happen if I started picking up the trash on the trail where I was running. It wasn't long till I had a handful of trash. It was difficult to add more. But I noticed something interesting. When I picked up the trash as I started running, when I ran around the same trail the second time, there wasn't much trash. On the third day, the first piece of trash I picked up was a Walmart plastic bag. I started putting the rest of the trash in the bag. I learned that that's a lot easier than trying to hold all sizes and kinds of trash in my hand. Started getting a Walmart bag each morning as I left our apartment so that I'd have a receptacle for all the things people left by the side of the trail. This was much easier. I thought about what I should do with all the trash. I considered putting it in a big pile in a very conspicuous place and posting a sign, "You should be ashamed of yourself, leaving all this trash in this beautiful park." And then I thought, what if somebody gets my sign and throws that into the trash pile? That'd be a waste of time and effort for me to do that. I haven't received much appreciation for what I've done. 2 people have said thank you out of about 100 that I passed. Should I quit because few people appreciate my efforts? The disadvantage of being a garbage collector is it slows down my time in running. But I'm not running a marathon or running a race each morning. Also, during these runs, the past few weeks, I've reflected on my 65 years of preaching. In each congregation, there's been trash, things being done and said that are unkind and unhelpful. These things mar the beauty of what could be a greater congregation. Also, other possible solutions that others and I've had for handling the trash in Triple Creek Park haven't worked. Perhaps the best thing for me to do is the theme of a sermon that I preach more than any other. Do what you can with what you have where you are.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast was brought to you by Jerrie Wayne Barber, sales manager with AmeriPro Roofing. AmeriPro Roofing has been around since the year 2000 and has had an office in Franklin, Tennessee for the last 10 years. We have installed well over 200,000 roofs nationwide and are excellent at replacing roofs, gutters, and siding. We are reasonably priced and outstanding at working with your insurance, which helps minimize your out-of-pocket expense. If you would like a free inspection of your roof and other exteriors, please call Jerrie Barber at 931-628-3390 for an appointment in Middle Tennessee. AmeriPro Roofing. Standards through the roof. Thank you for listening. Jerrie looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.